What if the reason money keeps slipping through your hands is not because you are lazy, cursed, or behind, but because you were taught to chase money instead of learning how to stand in right relationship with it? Stay with me, because this can change how you see every bill, every paycheck, every financial choice you make. Most people think wealth comes to the loudest hustler, the hardest grinder, the most obsessed mind in the room. But look closer. The people who think about money every second are often the same people drowning in stress, bad decisions, and quiet panic. That is not wealth. That is financial noise wearing a success mask. Real wealth feels different. It feels clear. It feels steady. It feels clean inside your mind. And here is the twist most people never hear. The tighter you squeeze money in fear, the faster it fights you. But when you learn to align with it, direct it, and let it move with purpose, your whole life starts to shift. In this video, I'm going to show you how ancient Torah wisdom can turn financial chaos into order, pressure into peace, and survival thinking into true abundance. You do not need to be religious for this to work. You just need an open mind and the courage to think in a new way. And watch all the way through, because the last part may explain why you keep working hard but still feel financially stuck. Most people hear the word Torah and think religion, rules, or something ancient that has nothing to do with rent, debt, savings, and real-life pressure. But Torah is more than a religious text. It is a life design system. It is a deep map of how human beings move from confusion into order. It has been helping people deal with fear, desire, relationships, responsibility, work, and resources for thousands of years. So when we talk about money through Torah, we are not escaping reality. We are moving deeper into it. Here is the first breakthrough. In Torah thinking, money is not just cash. It is movement. It is trust. It is responsibility. It is energy with direction. And one of the most misunderstood ideas is tzedakah. Many people translate it as charity, but that is too weak. The deeper meaning is justice, rightness, proper balance. In other words, giving is not just a nice extra for generous people. It is part of how a healthy system works. Think about your body. When blood flows where it should flow, the body lives well. When flow gets blocked, sickness begins. Money acts in a similar way. When it moves with wisdom, it supports life. When it gets trapped in fear, ego, impulse, or control, it creates pressure. Keep listening, because this is where most money advice completely misses the human heart. A lot of financial suffering is not only about the amount of money you have. It is about the state you are in while handling it. When fear takes over, your thinking changes. Your vision gets narrow. You stop choosing and start reacting. You jump into the wrong job because you are scared. You buy things to soothe pain. You say yes to every demand because you do not want to lose approval. You cut back in places that damage your future and overspend in places that drain your peace. It all turns backward. Scarcity thinking flips your inner compass. That is why some people earn more and still feel broken, while others earn less yet walk with far more order and peace. Money does not only reveal your habits, it amplifies them. If your inner world is chaotic, more income can simply create bigger chaos. If your inner world becomes ordered, even limited resources can start to build a strong life. This is why chasing money alone often fails. The chase creates obsession. Obsession creates panic. Panic destroys clarity. And clarity is what makes good financial choices possible. So no, this is not about sitting still and hoping abundance falls from the sky. It is about becoming the kind of person who can handle resources with wisdom. That is a very different thing. And if this is already hitting home, stay with me, because now we get into the 3 shifts that can rebuild your money life from the ground up. The first shift is simple, but it changes everything. Boundaries create blessing. In Hebrew thought, blessing does not grow well in chaos. It grows inside structure. The Sabbath has boundaries, and that is part of what makes it holy. Marriage has boundaries, and that is part of what protects it. Land has boundaries, and that is part of what makes it livable. Your money needs the same thing. If every dollar can go anywhere at any time for any reason, then your money is not serving you. It is escaping you. This is where many people lose peace. Not because they never earn enough, but because nothing in their financial life has a clear container. They spend emotionally. They save randomly. They give only when guilt hits them. They invest with no real direction. Then they wonder why everything feels scattered. Boundaries are not punishment. Boundaries are a safe place where growth can happen. They tell your money where to live, where to rest, where to work, and where not to go. That means clear limits for living expenses, clear limits for pleasure, clear limits for convenience, clear rules for saving, clear space for giving, and clear refusal when something does not belong in your life. This sounds small, but it is powerful. When money has no boundaries, it leaks. When money has a container, it builds. And keep watching, because the next shift explains why even a perfect budget can fail if your inner direction is missing. The second shift is this: intention directs money. In Torah life, meaningful action does not begin with movement. It begins with inner direction. Before you act, you ask what the action is for. That one habit can change everything. Many people spend, save, work, and even give without any real inner clarity. They are active but not directed. They are busy but not aligned, so their financial life feels heavy even when they are doing all the right things on paper. But when intention enters the picture, money stops being random numbers moving in and out of your account. It becomes a tool with purpose. Before you buy something, you pause and ask, what am I trying to create with this? Before you take an opportunity, you ask, does this move me toward the life I actually want, or just help me escape discomfort for a moment? Before you say yes to an expense, a loan, a partnership, or a new commitment, you ask, is this coming from peace or from pressure? Intention slows down unconscious living. It interrupts emotional spending. It exposes fake urgency. It helps you see when you are buying for image, soothing loneliness, numbing stress, or trying to feel worthy through consumption. And once you see that, you start making stronger decisions. Not perfect decisions, stronger ones. Money begins to obey your deeper values instead of your passing moods. That is when financial life becomes lighter, not because everything gets easy overnight, but because your choices start carrying meaning instead of confusion. The third shift is alignment invites abundance. This is where the message becomes very practical. A lot of people are trying to force wealth through constant pressure. They grind without rest. They copy paths that do not fit their nature. They build lifestyles that look successful from the outside but quietly destroy them on the inside. Then they ask why success feels so heavy. It is because misalignment is expensive. It costs energy, clarity, joy, health, and often money too. Alignment means the way you earn reflects your real strengths. It means your spending supports the person you are becoming instead of the person you are trying to impress. It means your lifestyle is not secretly working against your peace. It means your choices match your values. When that begins to happen, opportunity feels different. You stop grabbing at everything. You start recognizing what is actually yours to build. You notice which doors are a distraction and which doors carry life. This does not mean money appears by magic. It means you stop working against yourself. You become more observant, more disciplined, more responsive, more creative. And those shifts create results. Often the biggest breakthrough is not a bigger paycheck at first. It is better timing, better judgment, better relationships, better use of what you already have. That is how abundance often begins. Quietly, cleanly, with alignment first, then expansion. So if you have been trying to force your life forward and feeling exhausted, pay close attention here. The problem may not be effort. The problem may be direction. Now let's bring this down to real life, because wisdom must become practice or it stays decoration. Start by tracking where your money actually goes for one full week. Not to shame yourself, not to panic, just to see clearly. Then place every expense into 3 simple groups: what supports your life, what supports your growth, and what adds honest joy. If something does not fit one of those, be brave enough to question it. Next, before every week begins, take 5 quiet minutes and decide what a good money week would look like. What matters most right now? What must be protected? What must be reduced? What needs attention? That small moment of intention changes the tone of the whole week. Then look at the way you earn. Ask yourself hard but honest questions. Does this work use anything true in me? Is it helping me become stronger, wiser, more useful? Or is it only paying me to stay disconnected from myself? You may not be able to change your work tomorrow, and that is fine. But once you see misalignment, start making a plan. Also begin practicing the pause before non-essential spending. Give it 24 hours. That one pause can save you from emotional purchases, false urgency, and expensive regret. Ask yourself, am I buying this from peace or from emptiness? Will this move my life forward or just distract me for a moment? The answers are often clearer than we want them to be. There is also a practice here that many people resist, yet it can change your relationship with money faster than almost anything else. Let some of it flow outward on purpose. A tenth is a powerful standard if you can carry it, but if that feels too heavy right now, start smaller and start honestly. The point is not performance. The point is training your soul out of fear. When you give wisely and consistently, you break the lie that money must be held in a death grip to keep you safe. You begin to remember that resources are meant to move through a life of purpose, not sit frozen inside anxiety. At the same time, create a clear picture of what financial peace actually looks like for you. Not fantasy, not luxury theater, real peace. Maybe it means paying your bills without dread. Maybe it means sleeping through the night. Maybe it means giving without fear, saving without obsession, and making decisions without panic rising in your chest. Write that picture down. Let it become the direction of your choices. Then end each day with gratitude for what is already working. Food on the table, a skill in your hands, a roof over your head, a job that carries you for now. Gratitude is not denial. It is mental reordering. It trains your attention to see provision instead of only pressure. And that shift matters because a fearful mind misses what a clear mind can use. This may sound simple, but simple does not mean weak. Some of the strongest life changes begin in quiet daily habits that nobody claps for. There is a powerful picture in the Torah that speaks straight into modern money fear. In the wilderness, the people received manna day by day, but they could not hoard it in fear and expect it to bless them. If they tried to control tomorrow by clutching too much today, it spoiled. That story is not just about food. It is training for the human heart. It teaches trust, rhythm, and enoughness. It teaches that constant fear-based grabbing does not create security. It often creates rot, and that is still true now. Some people hoard opportunities, hoard commitments, hoard purchases, hoard cash without any peace, hoard control, and still live in constant anxiety. Why? Because fear does not relax just because numbers rise. Fear always asks for more. But when you learn to receive what today requires, use it wisely, and prepare for tomorrow without worshipping tomorrow, something inside you calms down. That calm is not weakness, it is strength. It helps you think better. It helps you say no faster. It helps you stop mistaking panic for wisdom. And once that happens, your whole life begins to change. Money stops being the master of your emotions. It becomes a servant of your purpose. Your relationships get lighter. Your body carries less stress. Your work becomes more creative. Your decisions become more honest. This is not careless living. It is conscious living. And if this part is landing, do not skip the final stretch, because this is where the common objections get broken open. Maybe one part of you is saying this still sounds too spiritual, too ideal, too far from everyday reality. But what could be more practical than understanding the mindset behind your financial behavior? Your results do not appear out of nowhere. They grow out of repeated choices, and repeated choices grow out of beliefs, fears, and habits you carry every day. Change the inner pattern, and over time you change the outer result. Another objection is this: I do not make enough to give, save, or think this way. I understand that pressure. But do not wait for abundance to practice order. Practice order with what you have now. Even one small act of intentional giving can weaken scarcity. Even a tiny boundary can create real stability. Even a 5-minute weekly review can stop financial drift. And if someone says this sounds like magical thinking, here is the answer. No one is saying money will fall from the sky because you think positive thoughts. The point is much stronger than that. When you align your money life with wisdom, you make cleaner decisions. You notice better options. You stop sabotaging yourself. You work with your strengths instead of against them. You become the kind of person who can build, keep, and direct resources. That is not magic. That is maturity. So here is the challenge. Do not try to fix everything at once. Pick one principle and live it deeply for 7 days. Build hard boundaries, or act with clear intention, or bring one part of your financial life into alignment. Go deep, not wide. Depth creates change. Scattered effort creates more noise. Your financial life does not have to stay driven by fear. It can become clear. It can become disciplined. It can become peaceful. You can wake up without that heavy pressure sitting on your chest. You can make choices without panic leading the conversation. You can stop treating money like a monster to fight or an idol to worship, and start treating it like a tool that must be guided with wisdom. That change starts now, not later. Not when you earn more. Not when life becomes easier. Not when every problem disappears. It starts with what is already in your hands today. With one choice, one boundary, one pause, one act of giving, one honest look at your work, one clear intention before the week begins. If you do that, you are not just fixing money habits. You are rebuilding your relationship with provision, purpose, and peace. And once that shifts, everything around it starts to move differently too. So do not just watch this and nod. Use it, test it, live it for 1 week and see what becomes clearer. Because wealth is not only about what enters your account. It is about what kind of person you become while handling what enters your life. And when your inner world and your money world begin to agree, chaos loses its grip. Peace enters, strength grows, and little by little, abundance finds a place it can trust enough to stay.